Welcome to Let's Talk About It. Here we go! Say yeah! Woohoo! Oh, that's a great line. That is a great line.
Almost fucking killed me! You're welcome!
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About It. I'm just gonna warn you guys, I am a bit sick, but I still wanted to give you guys this update episode of some of the movie news that I'm excited about that I'll be reporting on here today. If you guys have any movie news you ever want me to cover, please put it down in the comments, or put it down in the comments and tell me what movie news that's out there, or movie news you'd like me to start reporting on. Because for me, I just go through articles to be like, what's really most interesting that's interesting me, and articles that might interest you. So please pop it down below. But overall, let's get in to our first topic here, and that topic is this. I think maybe a year or a few months ago, Sony announced that they would be doing live action Spider-Man series on with different streaming services, most prominently with Amazon. And one of those series they talked about that I was really interested in was Silk, Cindy Moon's Silk character. This is from comicbookmovie.com. Silk Spider Society undergoing creative overhaul to instead target male skewing audience. So basically, the article goes into, it appears Sony and Prime Video's Silk Spider Society is going back to the drawing board in an effort to change the Marvel Comics adaptation's target audience. And they basically do this because Madam Web has crashed and burned this week at the box office. That's what it goes into. So, what's my thoughts on this? Are this? I think it's absolutely necessary that Sony has to rethink what they're doing with Spider-Man right now. I think with the animated section, they have been doing a really good job with that. But over in the live action space, movies like Morbius, Madam Web, the Venom movies, really only the good movies they've really done is that first Venom movie, and maybe Venom 2, but that only made above $500 million, and the Venom 1 almost made $1 billion. The other ones have not had success, and have been poorly written. My thing with Sony right now is that they seem incapable to hire people who want to actually make something good. Because, like I said in my Madam Web review, which you should go check out, basically I said, they hired the same writers for Morbius for Madam Web and expected a different result. They not only hired the writers for Morbius, but they made the writers wrote the movie even worse than Morbius. So, that's got to tell you, who is hiring these people to come and write our movies for us? And you also got to think, where are we, when you build a cinematic universe, that's their plan, build a Spider-Man cinematic universe. How can you build a cinematic universe around a character that's not even in your cinematic universe, which is Spider-Man? Sure, you mention him sometimes in your movies, but really, there is no Spider-Man in the Sony universe. And the general audience isn't really going to care for a character like Morbius or Craven or Madam Web if you're not going to make some connection or show some version of Spider-Man. I look at Madam Web, that movie should at least make maybe $50 to $70 million if it's written right. But the reason it made $25 million in 5 to 6 days over the free day weekend was because word of mouth got out that it was one of the worst movies ever made. It was terrible and boring. And then you have audiences not wanting to go see your movie because I'll wait for it streaming, or I'll just not waste 2 hours of my time watching garbage. And so I think it is smart to go back and kind of okay, how can we learn from our mistakes from Madam Web? And I'm going to talk about some more about the Sony Spider-Man universe a little later in the video, but overall, I think changing directions on this Cindy Moon project, because, I think Silk could have, she could equally have the same impact as Miles Morales' character, because, she is not Peter Parker. Miles Morales is not Peter Parker. His story is vastly different. Silk's story, is vastly different from Peters and Miles. I don't know that much about Cindy Moon Silk, but I do know her character from some comic iterations, and some of the online mobile games that they put Cindy Moon in. But let's hope Sony can get this one right. Make a good TV show and kind of get back on track to what they were doing with Toby, Andrew, and those animated Spider-Man movies. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Please comment down below if there's anything else you think I should know about this topic or anything you would like me to tell you about this topic. Alright, let's move on to this second topic here. And that is this. So, we're going to be talking about the box office from this weekend and how, there was some good, some bad, and maybe a bit of both. And this is an article quoted by Variety. What? The Bob Marley movie's triumphs over Madame Web's singles about a shifting box office. So basically Variety put out this article saying what it meant, when you have, it was really interesting because this weekend you had a superhero movie versus a biopic movie. And if you make this free, maybe 5 to 6 years ago, and it's a superhero movie going up against a biopic, the superhero movie is going to win that, no question. But we live in different times today, because now we live in a time where superhero films are not as high class as they were back in 2018, 2019. We have had the last few superhero movies, or projects to be quite honest, have been very, very low tier. If you think about the Marvels, Secret Invasion, Madam Web, Aquaman 2, very, very subpar movies. And some of those movies in there I like. I like Aquaman 2. I kind of like the Marvels. I did not like Secret Invasion, and I did not like Madam Web. But, this is showing the audience that maybe superhero movies are on the downfall. And I don't think it's really superhero movies are now bad. People don't want to see superhero movies. It's not superhero movie fatigue. It's, how would I put this? Mediocrity fatigue. What I mean by that really is that, people were seeing those MCU movies because they had good stories, Even though Captain America Civil War was filled with heroes, it was a story about, betrayed friendships, trusting. Who do you trust, in this world of, who do you trust? Tony Stark or Winter Soldier, and finding that big secret, oh my gosh, Bucky Barnes killed Tony's parents. How do you tell Tony that? What happens when Tony learns that truth? Versus when you look at a movie like the Marvels, where it's okay, we want to create this girl power, movie, which I don't have a problem with. You can do a girl power movie. You look at movies like Wonder Woman, that movie's awesome as a female lead. When you look at the Marvels, where it's you have one actress in Kamala Khan's actress, Marvelani, doing a great job acting that role, but Brie Larson and Tiana Paris kind of are not good in that movie. It's okay. And then you have the writing now is so bad. And I brought this up again. I brought this up in my Man One review that you look at a lot of these writers Marvel's bringing in, they feel that they don't need to look at the comics, go through the comics, and they're we don't want to be restricted by the comic books. We want to go off and do our own thing, And that's just, for me, that pisses me off as a comic fan, because there's been some comics out there who have really, really touched me really hard, the Ultimate Spider-Man run. That is a comic series where you have characters like Julie Carpenter, Morbius, Craven, Venom in there, which are really good. And now you're saying you have writers in here saying they want to go do their own thing. Like I said in my Madam Web review, you can do your own thing if you can make the story make sense and make it interesting. My favorite of a movie is when I go see a movie, it's why should I go see a movie? Why is it important to tell this story about Madam Web, about Craven? And, why should I want to see a movie? And Sony did not believe in Madam Web, and that's why it failed at the box office. Now we look at the good news of this, and that is the Bob Marley movie, which I have not seen yet because, guys, I am sick. I got sick on like Friday, Saturday. I couldn't go see Bob Marley because I want to get better, so I'll be seeing it next weekend. But this shows like, even though Bob Marley didn't have the most positive Rotten Tomato score, it's still, really connected with audiences. Like, it's about Bob Marley, who is a very, very well known artist who a lot of people love. A lot of people love his music. And, you know, it shows people still really love biopic movies. If that's Elvis, if that's Bohemian Rhapsody, Rocket Man, and now Bob Marley, One Love. It shows that there is more money to be made in a biopic now than a superhero film. And, I'm really happy for the Bob Marley movie. It exceeded expectations at the box office. Let me see. I'm trying to find go to this article, find the box office numbers for it. But basically, I think it would say a Bob Marley made about 70 million at the box office this weekend, in total, while Madam Web only managed to make 26 million. And also, the Bob Marley movie apparently cost less than Madam Web, so that's even more successful for the studio who made the Bob Marley movie. But it shows that people are not just going to go see your movie if you slap a superhero name on it. People are going to want to go see a movie that's worth their time, that has a good story that they will want to see. But what are your guys' thoughts? Were you guys surprised by the box office this weekend? And did you guys like Bob Marley? Or did some of you like Madam Web? Did you like any of those movies? Please comment down below if there's anything else I should know. And let's move on to this next topic here. And that's this. Henry Cavill has been the topic of many, many conversations this last few months. Recently learning that he would not continue as a Superman was, of course, disappointing to me. And also, he just had his Argyle movie come out, did not do well at the box office or critically. And also, you have him leaving The Witcher show, which he was there for 3 seasons. And, of course, now he's got that new Guy Ritchie movie coming out. And, people are pushing him to be the next Bond, but no one's ever thought that maybe he still has a chance in the superhero world. But according to comicbook.com, they say, rumor, Man of Steel star Henry Cavill has joined the MCU, but not as the Fantastic Four's Doctor Doom. So, basically it's an article that Henry Cavill has this is rumor, guys, has signed a deal to join the MCU. And a lot of people are expecting him to play at least two characters. People are either expecting Doctor Doom or Captain Britain. Now, I'm going to tell you why. I don't know if he's playing either of those characters. I'm going to talk about first the one people suspect more, which is Captain Britain. I don't think Marvel even has plans for Captain Britain right now, guys. I don't know much about the character, but he's basically like the Captain Britain's the Captain America of Britain, of the UK. But right now, where we already have Captain Carter, and bringing in another British Captain America type character, I think would be too confusing for audiences, and kind of shines the light away from Haley Atwell's Captain Carter. And also, we don't really need a Captain Britain right now, because we already have 10 or 5 other Captain America characters running around. We got Sam Wilson, we got Isaiah Bradley, we got his grandson, Patriot, we got Bucky Barnes, who has been Captain America in comics, and we also got Captain Carter. And maybe also Steve Rogers, so for another Captain character in there, doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Now, people say, oh, he could be playing Doctor Doom. I think we're still a bit away from Doctor Doom. And I don't know if Henry Cavill would really want to jump into another well-known project with Marvel as Doctor Doom, we've already seen the response to the cast where every fan's nitpicking everything about the casting so far, how there's fans who really like it and then there's the fans who really don't like it because of certain reasons. But honestly, like, I don't have no idea what character he's gonna play. I have no idea what he's gonna play. He could be, playing, he could be playing the new Sentry, which would be a bit too close to home. Basically, evil Superman. Or maybe none of this is true. Maybe Henry Cavill has not signed on anything yet. But I'm hoping he is. And, I don't really have a character in mind for Henry Cavill for him to play right now in my head. I can't think of a character on top of my head that Henry Cavill would be suitable for in the MCU. Maybe, he has been cast, maybe rumored right now, maybe for an X-Men project. Maybe he is I don't know, guys. I don't know who's gonna be cast. I would for Henry Cavill. I would love to maybe see him in like as a mutant in the X-Men franchise. I would love Henry Cavill to play in the MCU. Would either be Hick McCoy or Scott Summers himself, Cyclops. I think those roles would be really interesting for him. And I think X-Men is going to be a very important film going forward for the MCU. And I really hope, I'm glad for Henry. I'm really glad Henry Cavill is getting more work. And I was really worried after Argyle, studios would not be approaching for it. But it looks like he might be getting more work and even be working back into the superhero genre. Please tell me what you guys' thoughts. Do you guys think he could be playing Captain Britain or Doctor Doom? Or do you think, who else do you think he could be playing? Please comment down below your thoughts on this news. Now this last topic is kind of a topic I made up of my own. And it's a topic I think we need to talk about. And this topic is basically, how do we change the narrative of the Sony universe right now? The Sony universe, I think, right now is even on a worse track than what the DCEU was on. When the DCEU had, good movies in the mix of there. We look at the Spider-Man cinematic universe. None of the films that have really been made for Spider-Man have really had the most positive reviews. Has never really hit with audiences. Venom's been the most successful for them, but that's just one character. So this is what I suppose. This is what I'm proposing Sony does with their Spider-Man universe. They stop making movies on villains who people have no idea who they are. I think what I see whenever a studio tries to do a character that no one knows about, I think they're trying to hope for another Guardians of the Galaxy situation. Like, oh, a character that hits with the audiences like the Guardians did. Well, you also have to choose the right writers and directors for that. And also, that was the only time that I've ever seen that happen before with Guardians. Where new characters kind of come in that no one's really known about, so obscure, and kind of capture the audience at a level Guardians of the Galaxy did. But for Spider-Man universe, I say that you end it. You make a shift right now. Instead of telling stories of villains in your Spider-Man universe, talk about the other Spider characters you can tell stories of. Characters, like Cindy Moon, which they are doing a show on. Characters like Miguel O'Hara, who are really popular now, who was popular before, but even more popular after Spider-Verse. A live-action Miles Morales. People would go crazy for that movie. That is 500 plus million right there in your pocket for just putting the name Miles Morales in the movie. And my personal favorite, a Ben Reilly movie. And also Sony. This is what I'm going to tell you do. Hire people who like this stuff. Don't just hire a person because they maybe did something well for you in the past. That doesn't mean they're going to do well for you right now. That's what they did with Morbius. They thought Morbius was going to be a hit. They're like, oh, the people are Morbius? They're going to write Madam Web as hit as well. Did not happen. Sony, I am telling you this. I do not care for a character like Madam Web right now. I don't care about the Hydro Hustler movie you were going with Donald Glover. I don't even care about the stupid El Morito movie that you're going to do with Bad Bunny. Because those are characters the audiences don't want to see. And I don't understand why Sony keeps wanting to make movies about characters no one's ever heard of and no one is intrigued to see. You look at El Morito. That guy is... I've read so many Spider-Man comics. I've never seen an El Morito in any of the comic books I've ever read for Spider-Man. Neither has a Hydro Hustler. So Sony, I'm gonna ask you this right now. Do you want people to watch your movies? That's the basic question. Like, I'm asking you guys, like, would you go see a Hydro Hustler or El Morito movie? Because you surely didn't want to see a Madam Web movie because the box office is clear. No one wanted to see Madam Web. And when I went to my screen of Madam Web, like, there were kids in the audience of this movie. And I remember, like, looking after I left, because I left right after the credits over, and, like, kids were like, wow, that was bad. That was really, really bad. And, like, kids, like, it's just hard. Especially as a Spider-Man fan, watching movies like Madame Web and Morbius happen just hurt my heart. Because I know that there are so many great Spider-Man stories on there. I would really love Sony to make an Ultimate Spider-Man movie. Not the TV show, but the comic Ultimate Spider-Man. Because it's my favorite iteration of the Spider-Man character. I've read over that comic so many times. And it's like the best way to show Peter Parker in high school and his relationships with Mary Jane, with Gwen Stacy, with Eddie Brock, with Harry Osborn, with his aunt. But guys, those are my thoughts. That's all it for that episode of Let's Talk About It. Please tell me your thoughts and topics you want to hear next on the next episode of Let's Talk About It. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.